there! This is our story about how we participated in a national science iRES program on pollinators in changing climates. Our team's research centered around the connection between pollinators' foraging behaviors and their critical thermal tolerance. Specifically, we focused on bees and flies. Our hypothesis was simple. A pollinator's foraging behavior is correlated with its critical thermal maximum. Are you confused? That's understandable. Let's rewind for a second. What is critical thermal maximum? It is the temperature at which an individual loses motor control. Often in pollinators, the species flips over on their back. Knowing a species' critical thermal maximum is increasingly important as temperatures rise due to climate change. What is foraging? Foraging is just a fancy way of describing how pollinators collect and distribute floral resources like pollen and nectar. Foraging patterns of pollinators are often influenced by their body size, critical thermal maximum, how social they are, the time of day, temperature, and more. Bee foraging is so affected by the time of day that in a Schaefer et al. Study from 1979, foraging between competing pollinators like bumblebees and honeybees was segregated by the time of day. That's Professor Schaefer on the left. But now that we've covered our basics, let's get back to the experiment. Our experiment is divided into two parts: pollinator foraging behavior surveys and critical thermal maximum bioassays. We are aiming to predict, model, and document pollinating organisms' foraging responses to increased temperatures. This experiment will help us understand the impacts climate change can create, particularly for pollinators and for flowering plants. The second component of our study included testing specimens to determine their critical thermal maximum, or CTmax. Based on our surveying, we chose which pollinator species to test and when we should collect them. Most often, we tested bees and flies around their peak foraging times. Curious to find out more about our findings? Type this link into your browser or click the link under this video to see the interactive map and videos we've made.